Hello my friends, today looks to be a great and wonderful wintry day for firing up some pottery. Today I'm going to be firing up 3 Tonto Polychrome bowls that I've recently made. I know, I might be testing out my luck with that carbon, but we'll see. I'd like to thank you all for the very kind and positive feedback that you've given me for that video with firing the Tonto jar. It definitely means a lot to me. So thanks to all who dropped a comment. I had such a blast making that video and I'm really looking forward to this one as well. So let's get started on this, shall we? Here's a good look at all the goods for this firing. I've got 2 spindle whorls I'm going to be stuffing in this fire as well. These little guys have always given me a lot of trouble with the organic paint, so I've got my fingers crossed on this one. So this bowl right here I've made several times and I've always had some kind of carbon issue with it, similar to that jar, so I'm really hoping this will be the time for it to shine. This other one right here sure was a lot of fun to paint. And this guy, he's kind of got some design on the outside as well as on the inside. All right, what I like to do next is just dig up a small shallow pit, very shallow, nothing too crazy. And you can tell it's rained over the last couple days. This is still some pretty damp sand in this wash. For this first firing, I always like to use my scrap wood. That's gonna be a bunch of twigs and smaller sticks that I wouldn't use normally. I don't need this first fire to be big at all, just something to burn out all the moisture around it and warm up my pottery and create a nice bed of coals for it all to sit on. So you don't have to get too crazy with this. All right, one thing I like doing is just grabbing a bunch of skinny sticks like so, getting some super dry grass, usually pretty abundant, but it's winter right now and a lot of this stuff is already starting to decay. And just kind of wrap that right around in there. And now we got our fire starter here, so I'm gonna go put this on the old pile. All right, so I've got all my branches stacked over here, ready to be lit on fire. Everything looks good. I've got my pottery all lined up around here. It's gonna warm it up, draw out all that moisture. One thing I'm using is these cover sherds. Since my soil around this area is super damp, I don't wanna risk any kind of moisture getting into the pottery because really bad times will happen if that happens. So I've got them all resting on top of something and not directly on the dirt. And hopefully this fire is gonna draw out all that moisture and the sand and get things all warmed up, looking really good. So I've got the old Sinagua peace pipe starter right here. I'll just light that grass on fire and there it goes. Oh, beautiful. All right, we'll just let it do its thing for now. All right, this fire is going pretty nice now. I want to make sure I keep rotating my bowls around though. I want all this to get heated nice and evenly. So now for the fun part. I'm gonna start trimming up these logs here and stacking my fuel. All right, so that initial fire is totally burnt out. We're ready to stack some pottery furniture. This is just gonna hold those bowls up off the ground so we get plenty of oxygen flow to them. Again, normally I use rocks that I find out here, but since it has rained like crazy lately, I don't wanna risk it. Any moisture in those rocks will definitely explode. And then we'll have some bad time on our hands if that happens. So I'm gonna put this one in first. That is pretty warm. And just like that, always got that one bull that wants to put up a fight. It's normally not a good idea to throw this much stuff into a Salado firing, I found out, but I'm gonna take a little bit of a gamble on it. I've got one here, a test piece of clay that I need for an upcoming project. So I'm hoping that that's gonna turn out. I'm actually gonna put this over it to protect it because I wanna make sure I can see what the actual color looks like when it's fired. Little pinch pot I made. It's using some new clay that I recently found. So I do want to test that out as well. Always trying to find a good spot to put these things is the tough part. Let me get a, see if I got another. Ooh, yikes. All right, and we'll just put that on this side here. That should hopefully be good enough. Then I've got this crazy thing here. This is a pookie for that upcoming project that I am working on, and I want to make sure this gets fired. So I hope this is gonna be a good idea. I don't know. All right, I think that looks pretty good. We do not need these anymore. So this is gonna warm those bowls up even more. I could smell that mesquite. Wow, that is such a good smell. All right, so it's time to finally stack the wood. I'm gonna look for a couple of good pieces here. It's gonna make for a nice support for the structure. I usually like to have my logs looking like a letter Y at the top. Makes it a little bit easier to kind of connect them together. All right, let's see how this thing turned out. A lot of soot. Not too bad. I'll have to get that home and get this cleaned up, see if it comes out any darker or if that's what we got right there. Oh, that is so beautiful. All right, well that about wraps it up for today's firing. What a crazy one that one was. I had a lot of difficulties getting that fire to start up for some strange reason. I have a feeling it might be because of the recent rain and all that moisture we got. But check these bowls out. They turned out really beautiful. That organic paint sure held out really nice. Oh, so beautiful. Unfortunately, because I was really struggling to get that fire going, I think I might have had this in there a little bit too long and some of the organic paint started to burn out. I really won't know till I get home and wash these off and see what happens. Hopefully it's still in there on this one because this one's a beauty. And unfortunately, this guy, my troublemaker bowl, I've made this at least 10 or 11 times and it looks like it isn't happening this time either. I got a nice beautiful crack that runs right down the side here, right along that fire cloud. I suspect either it cooled down too quick, heated up too quick, or I just didn't have enough temper. But I'm pretty sure I loaded enough into it. But wow, it's got a real thunk sound to it, doesn't it? And then of course the third bowl. Oh boy, doesn't look like any cracks at all. This turned out beautiful. Looks like it started to lose some of the organic paint was getting burned out on this side. But look at the inside of that. That is nice. Really dark too. Oh, I just love these reds too. Isn't that just so beautiful?
I'd like to thank Andy Ward for all of his amazing help and advice. He's got so much wonderful material on ancient pottery on his YouTube channel, and as I've mentioned before, he's the guru of Salado pottery. So be sure to head on over to his channel and take a look. I'll put a link in the description below. These sure turned out beautiful, didn't they? Even that cracked one. No more carbon issues at all. Finally! Well guys, I really hope you enjoyed this firing as much as I did. Thanks so much for watching. Till next time, my friends.